You're watching the show that puts Mid-Michigan news in focus. This is Focal Point.
Up next, we head to Flint, Michigan, where we talk with some residents who are taking action in their community about the Flint water crisis.
What happened here should never have happened anywhere.
Plus, Hillary Clinton makes a stop in Flint, sending hope to the crowd of residents and trying to get Congress to send more aid.
Coming up on Focal Point, we're here at Roma Bakery making some punchki.
Focal Point starts now.
Good evening, I'm Matt Miller.
And I'm Kelsey Banis. Welcome to Focal Point. Presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton was in Flint this past Sunday, urging Congress to approve a $600 million amendment to help the city. Focal Point's Daniel Hamburg has the latest from Flint.
I'm here because for nearly 2 years, mothers and fathers were voicing concerns about the water's color, about the smell.
Flint resident Ernestine Lee knows the horrors of lead poisoning firsthand.
I'm so stressed out with this. It's more than people could know or understand what we are dealing with.
What they're dealing with is why Secretary Clinton was here.
This has to be a national priority, not just for today or tomorrow. Clean water is not optional, my friends.
Gerald Matthews said Clinton gave him hope for the future.
She has made this a beautiful, beautiful day for the hope that we would have had from our government here in the state of Michigan.
And Clinton knows that trust is a key issue.
Repairing trust is as important as repairing pipes.
Ernestine Lee is just glad to finally have a national spotlight.
I'm so glad that folks are bringing attention to the city of Flint, and we are getting help from all over the world.
Community members have hope, and so does Clinton.
We can do this. Let's make sure we take care of the people of Flint and give every child a chance to live up to his or her God-given potential.
In Flint, Daniel Hamburg, Focal Point News.
With all eyes on Flint, locals are also taking steps to educate each other and make a difference in their own community. Focal Point's Kit Cooney spoke to those affected by the crisis.
Now is the time to act, to do things to help the people of Flint.
In the wake of the water crisis, there has been a rallying of water donations from across the country.
We saw the news and we're like, we need to do something.
But it's not just bottled water that's needed.
Do you know what has leaked into your pipes?
Flint locals are joining together to take action.
It's just one thing after another after another.
This group at St. Michael's Roman Catholic Church have organized door-to-door canvassing to inform and educate their community.
So we use a process of listening. So we're not going to go quickly to make decisions for people in the community. We want to hear from them first.
On point.
Rick Carter, the executive director of Michigan Faith in Action, has helped organize these weekly meetings.
People in Flint are really upset, and they are together on pressing government officials to correct this problem.
Last week, volunteers had over 1,000 conversations regarding the dangers behind the water.
The only reason we use the Flint River water is to flush.
There's nobody riding in here on a white horse to save Flint.
To get a
Flint resident Sharon Allen has been suffering the effects of the crisis in her home.
In my household, we have been drinking bottled water for 30 years.
The greatest solutions are going to come from the people.
She hopes that this outreach will have a positive effect on her community.
To get that information out to them is key. They need to know all they can about this emergency.
So we need to do something about it, and we need to do something about it now.
People are hoping measures like this will bring even more attention to the crisis. In Flint, Kit Cooney, Focal Point News.
If you're interested in joining the cause, visit www.michfa.org for more information about weekly meetings.
Early last week, the House passed legislation that would raise the speed limit of many roads in Michigan. The package of bills could raise freeway speeds up to 80 miles per hour, with the initial speed limit set to 75 miles per hour in some areas for the first year. This legislation would also add a 1-point penalty for anyone caught speeding 1 to 5 miles per hour over posted speeds. You can expect to see these changes within the next year if approved by the Senate and signed by Governor Snyder. Earlier this week, Christians around the world celebrated Ash Wednesday with services throughout the day. Ash Wednesday marks the first day of Lent, a 6-week period of repentance leading up to Easter. Those who came to worship here at All Saints Episcopal Church in East Lansing are reminded of their own immortality and the hope of resurrection. Reverend Kit Carlson thinks that Ash Wednesday services are important for Christian students and locals to attend.
You know, if nothing else, you go get your ashes today and you say, I'm going to try and be better. I'm going to try and do better.
During the service, attendees received ashes on their forehead, symbolizing the idea of returning to dust after death. The ashes come from the previous year's Palm Sunday palms.
This winter, we've seen record-breaking warm temperatures. Despite the cooler temps this week, it's been a fairly mild winter. It's an El Niño year, which results in unusually warm weather during the winter season. This allows for more outdoor activities, less stress for wildlife, and fewer dollars spent on heating and snow removal. Although we've begun to see more snow, there still may be a chance for you to take off your coat.
We're much more likely than not to have fewer Arctic air masses, to be milder on average, and to have, well, probably less snowfall as well.
Last year, February temperatures were the coldest our state has seen. This season, temperatures are twice as high. The El Niño climate cycle is expected to end towards the middle of the year, bringing normal temperatures back to normal.
The warm weather has delayed the opening of a new pop-up ice rink in East Lansing, but it's open now. The rink at Valley Court Park in East Lansing is open to the public and can accommodate up to 50 skaters at a time. It's free to use and is open from 3 until 9 p.m. daily. Community support was crucial when building the rink as volunteers joined the fun.
This rink was actually completely assembled by volunteers. So, you know, staff helped organize the process, but we had over 40 volunteer hours that went into putting this rink together.
The rink is open, weather permitting, until February 25th.
Michigan State Advertising and Public Relations faculty gathered at Pizza House for the 19th annual Super Bowl ad rating party. For each commercial, faculty and staff voted to determine which ads they liked best. The top spot went to the Toyota commercial featuring bank robbers fleeing in a Prius. A close second was the Dorito ad featuring a baby, via ultrasound, wanting to eat the chips his father was eating.
The Super Bowl to the advertising industry is like Oscar night is to the movie industry. It's the biggest night of the year, and the best ads are on, and advertisers spend millions of dollars.
This year, the average cost to air a 30-second spot was $5 million.
A Lansing Everett High School senior has gotten some new attention after a video of him went viral. Montel West was at the Lansing Mall playing the piano to kill some time. Eventually, he had his own audience. West hasn't received any formal training and is completely self-taught. The video has over 24,000 views and he's gained national attention, including an invitation to appear on ABC's The View.
Yeah, it helped out a lot because when I was younger, I never would have suspected like my music would get like discovered like that. It just seemed like a little thing to me and just a little talent I had, and then it just somebody was there at the right moment and I was just there and it just happened. It just makes me happy.
West will be studying music management at Lansing Community College next year and hopes to have a career in music.
A new construction project could mean better housing for families on campus.
And rumor has it that Sparty will be more available for students to hang out with. That story and more next in the On-Campus Report.
When do we give up? When do we just close our eyes and say, that's it? This water's too polluted. This disease too far along. To a Spartan, the answer is simple. Never. Because Michigan State was founded on the belief that our purpose is to make the world a better place. And when you're open to unconventional thinking, value people's differences, and are willing to forge true partnerships, then and only then can you solve the world's toughest problems. Like renewable energy, clean water, and Parkinson's disease. Because we know our true triumph lies in the impact we make on the world around us. And after all, if we don't do it, who will? Spartans will.
The brand new Capital Area train and bus station is now open and has replaced the old Amtrak station along Trowbridge and Harrison Road. And using the Greyhound, Indian Trails, Megabus, or Amtrak will now board this location. Amtrak users purchase their tickets along the backside of the station, separate from bus riders. The old Amtrak station will be torn down and turned into a parking lot occupying about 150 spaces.
So we feel like this is part of the gateway to our region, and the previous building wasn't the best image to our region. So we partnered with Michigan State University in East Lansing and put in an application for a federal grant, which we were awarded, to build a beautiful building that really provided a very positive face for the first-time visitors coming to our community.
The new station has updated amenities such as a larger waiting area, 24-hour lobby, expanded restrooms, and 2 ticket purchasing stations.
Between a new apartment complex and plans for another statue, students will soon be seeing new additions to campus.
Connor Hansen is here to tell us about the timeline of these projects in the on-campus report. Connor?
Thanks, Matt. Parking at the Breslin Center will soon get easier with a new parking ramp being built right across the street. But it's not just about the parking. New student housing will be part of a multi-million-dollar project. Focal Point's Matt Miller has the details on when students will be able to move in.
For many students, moving into the university housing is an exciting part of attending college. However, for some, the feeling wears off after a while.
I kind of regret doing the second year at Owen.
James Francois is a second-year master's student who lived at Owen Hall for his graduate studies.
I wish I would have gone to an apartment so I could have gotten more privacy and probably a better experience for the second year of my master's.
There may be hope for people wanting to combine the convenience of campus with the comforts of their own place. Across the street from me is a featured location for the 1855 place. Named after the year this university was founded, the complex will have a number of different apartments for not only single students, but students with families with them. In addition, the $160 million project will also feature a Starbucks coffee, a convenience store, and a Spartan apparel shop.
The whole development includes about 11 buildings.
While still under construction, Cooper hopes that it'll be a great place for students.
They have the access to campus, the access to the resources they need to be academically successful.
I think the location is key here. The closer to campus, the better.
In addition to location, Cooper says that 1855 place was designed for students.
We've got engagement spaces throughout the property there. There'll be a workout room, there'll be a community room.
And ultimately, Cooper said,
we're really hoping to create a community.
Starting next school year, 1855 place will open its doors to students at MSU. In East Lansing, Matt Miller, Focal Point News.
Students will start moving into 1855 place starting this fall. MSU's beloved Sparty mascot will soon be immortalized on campus as a gift from the 2016 senior class. The Spartan statue on MSU's campus is an iconic landmark.
It's not even an opinion, to be honest, it's a fact. Sparty is definitely the best mascot in this nation.
Whether it's the original ceramic statue here inside the stadium or the duplicate bronze version overlooking the Red Cedar River.
Well, he's the coolest mascot in college sports. I mean, let's all be real.
But now MSU will have another Sparty statue. This one will immortalize the Sparty mascot.
Real surge of happiness whenever I see Sparty walking around campus or see him like through the dorms or anything. So
the monument will be cast in bronze and placed right here on the first floor of the Union.
Sparty, he's just a little different because you can reach out and touch Sparty, and you can shake Sparty's hand, or you can get a hug from Sparty.
Tammy Kuhn is the director of the MSU Union and is leading the way in this project.
We just wanted to have something that recognized him, and he does live in the Union, so it made perfect sense to immortalize him here.
Michigan State's Senior Class Council decided to make this their senior class gift.
That's a real great legacy. I mean, it's going to be something everyone walks by, so they're always going to think of the senior class when they walk by it.
Anyone can donate to the roughly $150,000 project and have their name displayed on an electronic kiosk next to the statue. This sculpture is being created by Allison Brown, who's based in Oregon and specializes in building large bronze monuments of college mascots. She says it should be ready in October and that she can't wait for it to be a gathering place and a new tradition. To donate to the project, you can go to MSU's developments page and search for the Bronze Sparty Statue Fund. Michigan State University is trying to make itself the healthiest campus in the nation through a new program that will help students get fit. Focal Point's Kelsey Banis has more on the Healthy Campus Initiative.
Communications senior Matt Sturgeon likes to work out and is doing his best to stay healthy.
I think sometimes in wintertime we get caught in the trap. It's cold outside, don't want to go to the gym or don't feel motivated so much.
And university officials agree. That's why they're launching the Healthy Campus Initiative.
How can we get people moving? How can we get people walking?
Recently appointed director of the HCI, Dr. Ed Rossick,
It's just getting ideas.
has already started strategic planning.
Coordinate and integrate all the health initiatives, all the things that we're doing for health and wellness here on campus under the umbrella of Healthy Campus Initiative.
That focus is to make Michigan State the healthiest campus in the nation. The Healthy Campus Initiative promotes itself through movement activities and eating and shopping healthy. Through the education and integration of the HCI, Extension Educator for Food and Nutrition, Joyce McGarry,
Today's life as students, you don't always choose the healthiest food.
believes people will be more aware of a healthy lifestyle.
I think with the consistent messages that are out there that people will maybe start to change habits.
The biggest goal is looking at community health as a whole and to make improvements.
This isn't a month-long process, this isn't a year-long process, will be a multi-year process.
The initiative already has students excited for what's to come.
It's great. I think, you feel, I've always thought you stay in shape or you're being physically active, you feel better about yourself.
In East Lansing, I'm Kelsey Banis, Focal Point News.
The initiative is in the early planning stages to revamp the recreational facilities on campus. While refugees from Syria are slowly making their way to Michigan, many from other countries have been here for years. The Refugee Development Center in Lansing helps refugees deal with the challenges of coming to a foreign country. The center held a training seminar on campus for volunteers. Officials are pleased with the turnout.
It's amazing. I mean, we've had an outpouring of support from all over the community to help out in our programs, and it's just wonderful to see so many people interested.
If you are interested in helping out, visit refugeedevelopmentcenter.org for more information. Earlier this week, the University Activities Board hosted a Chinese New Year celebration. Both students and their families helped ring in the Year of the Monkey with a Chinese food and a presentation on the Chinese Lunar Year. The celebration's origin comes from stories of a mythical monster that attacked villages. It was believed it could be scared away with bright red decorations and fireworks.
So I think keeping in mind that there are other populations here, the minority groups, their holidays, and celebrating those as well, and making sure that we're keeping culture alive at MSU.
The celebration ended with a fireworks show on Cherry Lane Field, allowing students to ring in the new year with a bang. MSU journalism alumni are doing big things after graduation. Former master's student Andrew Norman returned to campus on Wednesday to speak about his organization here in Nebraska. The website strives to spread the vibrant music and culture in Nebraska, which Norman believes to be a hidden gem in his home state. Originally born from an MSU class assignment, Norman hopes to make Nebraska a recognized cultural destination.
It developed as a master's project here at Michigan State, and now it's become a nonprofit that employs 6 people and has a $400,000 budget and is doing what I think is really cool stuff, and that's all due to Michigan State.
This summer, Norman and his Here in Nebraska team will travel across the state to 12 rural communities. Their second annual Good Living Tour will promote local Nebraskan music and bands. And that's what's happening on campus. I'm Connor Hansen.
Spartan football got some new recruits. We'll see the team's additions from National Signing Day.
Plus, it's rivalry week. Basketball and hockey take on Michigan next in sports.
Ever wonder where courage comes from? Where one finds the strength to believe in solutions that seem impossible? It takes a Spartan's will to understand that by working together we can solve the world's biggest problems, from renewable energy to fighting malaria. After all, if we don't do it, who will? Spartans will.
Signing day has come and gone, and the Spartans have added 22 new players to their roster. Here's an in-depth look at the new 2016 recruiting class. College football has 2 seasons, and one of them never stops.
Signing day is a new beginning for a lot of people.
And the coaching staff says the wide receiver position is exactly what shines in this new recruiting class.
I got 4 4-star guys, and those guys are really ready to go, and I think they're ready to get on the field right now.
And all 4 are listed at 6'3", which is perfect in the eyes of quarterback coach Brad Salem.
We always like big wideouts, so obviously it's a larger margin for error, as we say.
Into the end zone, down the left sideline, and the ball is caught! Touchdown, King! On the last play,
Donnie Corley turned heads with his Hail Mary catch that gave Detroit Martin Luther King the state title this past November. And he also hopes to turn some heads on the other side of the ball, playing cornerback.
Donnie has approached me in the past, not since he's necessarily been here, but over the summer or every now and again I see him, hey, coach, I play corner too. So he said that to me. I'm like, all right, I got you. We'll work you over there a little bit. So
while Donnie Corley just committed to Michigan State a few months ago, Cam Chambers verbally committed to Michigan State during his sophomore year of high school. And both players decided to forego their last semester of high school to enroll at MSU this January.
Donnie and Cam are going to have a big opportunity to, at least for the quarterbacks, get a feel for them and how to run routes and where to spot throw things.
8 of the new recruits have enrolled early, including another standout in the recruiting class, 4-star quarterback Messiah DeWeaver.
It's big that he's able to be here mid-year, to be into the off-season workouts and routine, and then going through the mental aspects of spring football.
D'Antonio's never been considered to have a top 10 or even a top 15 class, but he judges his recruiting class's success at the end of the season with championships rather than during the preseason. The recruiting website Rivals.com says Michigan State's 2016 recruiting class is ranked 20th nationally, and many other recruiting sites have them even lower. But for Coach Mark D'Antonio and his staff, it's one of their best classes yet.
Certainly this is one of the highest recruited classes that we've had in terms of rankings, and we have some outstanding players to talk about as we move through this.
The state is happy with their class. Down the road in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines locked down the nation's #1 recruit and are touted as a top 10 class, which will make the Big Ten East even more competitive. Meantime, some of the new recruits volunteered with their teammates recently to help distribute water and recycling bags for Flint residents. More than 30 volunteers, including student athletes, marching band members, and others within the athletic department, traveled to a Flint shopping center to lend a hand.
I'm born and raised here, and I'm blessed to come from like this. It hurt to see, so my city in pain like this, but I got my team here and a couple other people from the school, and we're here willing to help.
There's nothing like rivalry week in East Lansing. Both men's and women's basketball and hockey faced off against the arch rivals from Ann Arbor, the Michigan Wolverines. Basketball's Bryn Forbes was unstoppable, scoring 23 of his 29 points in the first half. He shot 80% beyond the arc. Denzel Valentine was close to another triple-double with 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Coach Izzo thought the team did well across the floor.
We played with some passion. We got after it early. I thought we did a good job executing. I thought our defense was phenomenal early. I thought our rebound was a little skeptical in the first half, but we bounced back in the second.
And 3 days later, the team faced a tough overtime loss against Purdue. And before the game, Coach Izzo didn't seem to mind facing his former recruit. Now that's Purdue's starting forward, Caleb Swanigan. He committed to MSU last April, but then backed away from his verbal commitment to join the Boilermakers.
I look at it like it worked out great for him. I mean, he's doing well, but it worked out great for us too.
Swanigan ended up scoring 8 points against MSU, and the Spartans are now 7-5 in the Big Ten. The team will return home this Valentine's Day against the Indiana Hoosiers. And the women's basketball team also played their rivals at the Breslin Center. Ariel Powers was a top scorer for the Spartans. Look at that steal and the fast break to the basket. Gets it in. She had 27 points on the night. And A.G. Brandius set a career-high 20 points. She drains it from downtown. She was on fire from beyond the arc, shooting 80% from three-point range. Another big player was Tori Jankowska. Gets the ball underneath, gets it in. She added 16 points. What a move at the basket right there. Spartans dominated the Wolverines, winning 85-64.
You don't ever want to get outworked by any of your opponents, certainly, not your rival. So we wanted loose balls and charges and, that kind of thing. Our effort level wanted to be higher than theirs for sure, and I thought we did a good job of that out of the gates on both ends. But it's hard for me to say.
And just last night, the women's team lost 65-61 to Penn State at home, and this weekend the team travels to Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers. Spartan hockey had a huge overtime win last Friday night against Michigan in the Duel in the D at the Joe Louis Arena, and they hope to take that momentum into their home matchup with the Wolverines the very next day. However, this David versus Goliath matchup was all Goliath. Already up 3-0 here early in the third. Michigan on the power play. Tyler Mott sinks the dagger into Spartan hearts. Michigan with a 4-goal lead and a shutout of the Spartans, but not for long. Michigan State not giving up. That's Travis Walsh with the shot. William Haag there to knock in the rebound. Spartans on the board, but in the end it didn't matter. The night after their huge win, the Spartans come out flat on their home ice, losing 4-1.
You're scratching your head saying you're coming off of a good win last night on a good effort against a real good team in a great environment. And then you come home in another great environment, and you want to make sure you lay it on the line out there.
The Spartans are at home again this weekend for a 2-game series against Penn State. The puck will drop at 7:05 both tonight and Saturday night. Baseball is back in full swing as the baseball team hosted the 11th annual First Pitch Dinner at the Kellogg Center. Students, alumni, and fans joined in the festivities, all excited to meet the 2016 Spartans. Everyone who attended got to talk to the players and have memorabilia signed. The dinner also included a silent auction, and some items included jerseys, photos, posters, and equipment used by former Spartans. Batting leadoff, however, was the team interacting and sharing laughs with the Michigan State fans.
Always a great event. A lot of people always show up. Everyone's usually smiling, like Chris. So it's always a great event that we put on here, and I always look forward to it every year.
Michigan State heads to Greenville, South Carolina in 1 week to begin the 2016 campaign, and they'll match up against Presbyterian in the season opener on February 19th. And former Michigan State football player and Rose Bowl champion Benny Fowler can now add Super Bowl champion to his impressive resume. The former Spartan wideout had his moment in the spotlight when he caught a pass from Peyton Manning for a 2-point conversion late in the game. It was Manning's last pass of the game and potentially his last pass of his career. So congratulations to Benny Fowler and the rest of the Denver Broncos. And that's what's happening in sports this week. Matt, Kelsey, back to you guys at the desk.
Some people wait months for the one-day punchi to go on sale, and this week, there certainly wasn't a shortage of powdered sugar to go around.
Focal Point's Daniel Hamburg takes us behind the counter at Lansing's Roma Bakery.
When I pulled in at 6:30, there was a line out the door.
It's Fat Tuesday at Roma Bakery.
Hello, just a dozen for you?
And that means customers are here to get their punchki.
How do you want the chocolate whip, sir, or the chocolate cream?
Make 4 of each. Jeffrey Mills.
Why don't you throw a chocolate one in there, make 6.
Is stocking up for the week.
I got 6 of them, so just something to enjoy 6 days from now. Don't eat more than one a day.
Started in 1969.
Owner Manika Striciano and her husband Sostin had been in business for 46 years.
Well, her husband does it all by himself. He fries each one individual. No one else fries them. He's the only one that fries them.
While customers are out front buying their punchki, Sol and the other workers are back here frying some more.
It looks like so far that we broke the record.
Last year was 8,000 dozen.
So many punchki, and for good reason.
They're the best and they're available this time of year. They're thick and they're full of stuff.
My favorite, I like chocolate whipped.
My favorite's probably the raspberry.
Lemon, vanilla, chocolate, and Bavarian cream.
No matter what kind you get.
Roma Bakery on Fat Tuesday is the place to be.
In Lansing, Daniel Hamburg, Focal Point News.
Those looked amazing. Did you get to try to have one?
I did get to try one. It was delicious. Thank you for joining us tonight.
We now leave you with the sounds of the MSU Symphony Orchestra.